Guys, welcome back. In this video we are gonna try and execute our HTML codes. This is basically gonna be a solution video of lecture 1, but also we'll discuss a few additional things. If you have already done lecture 1 worksheet, you can cross check your answers, and if you haven't, then let's do it together. So let's get started. The first question of the worksheet was basic structure of HTML document. Now before we get into that, as you can see, I have written the structure of HTML document and it's in green. This means it's a comment. We discussed what are comments. Comments are basically part of the code that do not get executed when we run. This is just in the code. It will have no role in the output. As you can see, even if I run this program, nowhere it's written structure of HTML document, right? But if I remove the comments, now even though writing straight like this is not recommended because of it's not correct, we need to write any paragraph in the paragraph tag, but as you can see, structure of HTML document has been printed as it is. So it's in the output right now, but we can make it a comment because we don't need this in the output. And as you can see, since I haven't closed the angular brackets, all of this became comment automatically. Now nothing will run because all of this is a comment only. The compiler ignores the comments. So we are going to close it right here. And the moment we closed it, our code is now running. So this is somewhat how your web page is going to be shown. Now I prefer this online compiler, but you can use whatever you want. It's preferred if you are a beginner. I'd suggest use Notepad, and then you have to right click and open with Google Chrome. You need to save your Notepad with .html extension, Notepad for Windows, and TextEdit for Mac. So now let's get started. First question, structure of the HTML document. So we discussed this in great detail in the very first lecture. Deja vu. This is where we started, right? So doc type HTML, we discussed about the doc type declaration, right? This is basically nothing but telling the browser that our HTML, the whatever we are going to type is HTML5. We are informing the browser so that there is no unavoidable error of any kind. HTML, this is the root element, right? We discussed that this is the root element. All HTML codes are gonna start with HTML tag itself. Without this, we might be able to run the code, but it's not good. Okay, so this is the root element. Then we have head. Head is basically containing all the meta information like the title. So information that won't be displayed on the web page comes under head, whereas body contains such as title, right? So our title is Replit. Replit is the online compiler that I use. Again, if you're a beginner, I wouldn't suggest you to use a online compiler. So slash head, here we are closing the head tag. Once that's done, okay, we discussed in one of our videos which other tag that we discussed comes under head. That was the style tag, right? So anyways, we'll discuss it later. Then slash head, then body. Any information that is visible on our web page, any information that we can see being displayed, all the tables, all the headings, all the paragraphs, all the images. So any information that we can see on web page comes under body tag, right? So like heading, this is the syntax to write heading. This will be the most important heading because this is h1, so this will also be the biggest heading, but we can change the size anytime we want. If we want, we can make h6 bigger than h1, but right now this is the most important heading, and by default it is the largest heading. Paragraph, this is the first HTML practice lecture, and then slash body slash HTML. So now we are gonna run it. As you can see, this is the first HTML practice lecture and heading. The difference between text and a heading is quite evident, right? Now we discussed about 6 different types of headings, right? Let's discuss the difference. Let's see the difference between those 6 headings. So it's good to explore while you are writing the code. While you are writing the code, you can write whatever you want. The curiosity questions, when I started coding, I used to get a lot of these questions, and I still do. The best way to get answers to these questions is just to experiment yourself. If you think that, what will happen if I do this, what will happen if I don't write the closing tag, what will happen if I write h5 and or something, whatever, all sorts of experiment. It's always good to experiment yourself and see the output for yourself. You are the coder, you are running the code. Write whatever you code you want while learning. So yeah, now we are going to see the difference between all different types of headings. As you can see, heading, 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 heading. So this is the first HTML, this is paragraph, and these are all our 6 headings. Heading 1 being the most important and the largest, and then heading 6 being the least important and the smallest. I told you that we can change the... I hope you have watched all the previous lectures, guys. So we are going to discuss, although this is basically solution of lecture 1, but we are going to discuss about all the important points that... So as I told you that we can increase the size of the headings, right? Why is it not changing? Just a second. Yeah. As you can see, this is heading 6 now. So heading 6 now seems to be the most important, right? But it is not. It's, as I told you, we can make heading 6 way larger than heading 1. But what's the concept of headings? We are gonna use headings as per the SEO, search engine optimization. So we need to use H1 for the most important heading, we need to use H6 for the least important heading. So this is something to keep in mind. Now let's get on to the next question. Create an HTML document which contains the following. Heading as lecture 1. I'll remove all these extra headings. So our heading is lecture 1. Okay, then text about yourself. This is the first HTML lecture. We already have text. Then your image. Now image you can add, I'm gonna add any image for now from the internet. So img. HTML is not case sensitive, so you can write in caps also. I just prefer writing in lowercase. img src is equal to, let's Wikipedia. Let's get an image. Now we need to get the image address. Sorry, copy image address. So in src we are gonna put the destination. Oh my god, we are gonna put the destination of the image. You can also, if you have, you need to put an image of yourself, right? So you can put any random image. You are gonna open it with in Chrome, any of your random image, right click on it, open with Google Chrome, copy the URL like this, it will come like this, copy it and paste it here and it will work. So for now we have chosen a random pic, so yeah, let's go with it. And then alt, it's always recommended to write alt, right? We discussed why, we discussed what's the importance, everything. Then the next part requires us to a link to this YouTube video. We discussed the syntax for link. Hope you are clear with it. We'll put the link to this video only. I mean this page only. Okay. We also discussed about absolute and relative URL. Quick, tell this if this is an absolute or a relative URL. Pause and tell. Think. Answer in the comments. Yes, this is an absolute URL. Now moving on, we'll write click here. Click here for more info. Alright. So our question number 2 is done. Let's run it. Click here for more info. Wikipedia, as you can see, our image is here, our heading is here, and as you can see, between heading and paragraph, there's this gap, right? We discussed the extra spacing that heading takes, so that's the reason. And if we want this in the next line, we can simply write br tag here. Br means line break, so we can write br tag here. It will come in the next line. And as you can see, once we clicked on it, the link has opened. So back to my page. Now we can also use HR, which was another empty tag we discussed, which will give us a horizontal line, as you can see. So this is all about question number 2. Now we also discussed about a pre tag, right? Now let's see the difference between P and pre tag. First let's see with P tag only. Wait. Okay. Yeah. So okay, I won't be able to take select text from this. Just a second, I'm trying to copy a poem so we can see. Oh, let it be. I'll write a text only like this. This is the first HTML practice lecture. Yes, okay. Now let's run it. As you can see, it has printed it like this only. So it has ignored all the extra spaces, white spacing. Even if I add a lot of extra spaces here, it will ignore all of it. The P tag, the paragraph tag. Now let's write pre instead of P. So we are writing pre. We are exploring the pre tag now. We'll run it. I don't know why it's taking so much time. But yeah, okay. So as you can see, all the spacing, all the lining, it's all here, right? It's displaying this also as it is. We can write it in the next line. Yeah, now you will see that it will all start in the same line like this. So this is the difference between pre tag and P tag. Now moving on to the next question. Create an HTML document which contains your image and displays your name when mouse is on the image. So we discussed how can we do this, right? Title attribute. So we are just gonna write title is equal to, we'll write Vic. Run. Vic, when my mouse is on the image, it's showing Vic. As soon as I remove the mouse, Vic disappears. Okay, So we have done question number 3. Now question number 4. Create an HTML document exploring the different types of heading. We have already done that. Question number 5. Create an HTML document containing 2 links, one absolute and one relative. We have already seen this in our lectures. We have already discussed this in detail in our lectures. Which of the following helps us mention the location of the image? Answer is option B, src. As you can see here, we have mentioned the location. Src is equal to and the location. Next question was, which tag is used to create a link? We have already discussed this. We have already seen this, a tag. Then next question, write the HTML code for the following. So it's pretty much similar to this only. First we have a heading, then we have a paragraph. We also have a paragraph. We can just write it P only here. Then we have a horizontal line after that. So we'll write HR here. Then we have an image with title image. Then we have another paragraph and no HR here. We have P. Oh, sorry. This is a paragraph. Okay. Then we have a link to this YouTube video after a few line breaks. So we'll add BR. We'll add twice. I think that's enough. And then we have a link. So link to this YouTube video, you just need to copy. Also heading was in red color. So we are just going to use the style attribute. Style is equal to color and then red. So lecture 1, and all this was in blue color. So we'll use style is equal to, or since both the paragraphs are in blue color, instead of writing P style is equal to, I can use the style tag in head. So I'm going to use style sorry. Then I'm going to use style for the P tag. I am going to use curly braces as we discussed, and then color blue. As you can see, the color is now blue of both our paragraphs. So that was it. Question number 8 is also done. And for YouTube video link, you can just, instead of, I have used this Wikipedia's link, instead of copying this link, you can copy the link of the YouTube video. Okay. So question number 9, what's the basic syntax to write into attributes? We already discussed this in our lecture in detail, but the basic syntax is, let's write it in a comment only here. What's the basic syntax? Come on, we discussed it. Name is equal to value in double quotes. That's it. And then semicolon if you want. Basically, semicolon is mainly used for styling, right? So this is the basic attribute. You can remove it also. This is the basic syntax. Now what is an element? Element is the starting tag, that is P, then all the content, that is this, and then the end tag. These three things together make an element. Okay. So with this, we are done with the lecture 1 worksheet. Apart from that, we have also discussed comments, we have discussed the pre-tag, we have discussed the style attribute, we have discussed a lot of things. So I hope you enjoyed this lecture. I'm gonna bring soon gonna bring another lecture on coding. That's it. We are going to execute more and more web pages, and as you can see, we have already created a very basic website, but a website that counts. So very fast you are going to create amazing websites if you keep up with this series. So just all the best, and see you in the next lecture. Bye bye.